What up guys, Calvin here. Today we asked the Redditors what is one rule that was implemented at your school or work that backfires horribly, okay? Be sure to get this video a thumbs up. Let's get this video to maybe 50 likes, that would be amazing. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, CalvinD1995, link will be in the description below. And yeah, let's get right in with the show. My high school was trying to prevent a senior prank since the class before us had got a letter out of the hand. They basically told us not to have one, that they would get anyone who did anything a lot of trouble, yada yada. So somebody had an idea. What if we can do an NT prank? The idea had floated around the halls and everyone knew what we were going to do. For an entire week, every senior was going to bring a potentially threatened item for a senior prank and do nothing with it. The week starts and that Monday, nearly the entire senior class carried a banana with them to every class. This is a school of 2,600 students, 650 graduating class, so there are hundreds of bananas being carried through the halls. Teachers and assistant principal freaking out. By noon, an announcement was made that all bananas need to be eaten or thrown away or they will be confiscated. So by that afternoon, every banana was taken away from the student. Why are the teachers freaking out about a banana? It's harmless, literally. Okay, let's just keep reading. The next day got even better. Somebody has the idea that we should all bring a gallon jug of water with us to class. And to no one's surprise, again there is an announcement that they were going to start taking out the water jug for fear of what we are going to do with them. But this time, the student got creative. People are resentful now and not wanting to give out their precious water. Students are getting creative, hiding them in backpacks, avoiding teachers in the hallway, whatever it takes to keep their water jar. But at last, most of the jars have been confiscated. So the students started taking to social media. Tons of tweets and mentions are going out to local news stations, TMZ, Oprah, Ellen, you name it. They got mentioned. All these messages are going out along the line of school is confiscating all waters, not allowing students to drink water. High school drought. We are dying. Send help. You get the picture. Before the end of the day, 2 different news reporters were at our school. Guess we had the last laugh after all. Wow, that is pretty crazy. You guys actually made it to the news for your senior prank. You made it look like the school actually confiscated all the water, so you guys cannot bring any water or drink water. In my dorm, if you did something that triggered the smoke fire alarm, you had to do a safety presentation for everyone on your floor. This was intended to deter pranksters from pulling the alarm. A guy on our floor was making grilled cheese in the kitchen lid and burned it, which legitimately triggered the fire alarm. Afterwards, he explained, assuming that essentially had been a legitimate alarm and not a prank, that he wouldn't have to do a presentation. He was, of course, wrong. So the next Wednesday night, the entire floor assembled and we were treated to a 30-minute safety presentation on the danger of grilled cheese sandwiches. It contained literally nothing about the fire safety. It was all choking hazard and cholesterol. Our RA was furious, but the student pointed out that the write-out that he'd been giving just said safety presentation. Didn't give any more presentation after that. Man, that student is smart. Give a presentation about grilled sandwiches. I bet that's a fun presentation right there. If you violated the dress code policy, you had to wear these really big gray sweatpants or sweatshirts that say DCV in big orange letter. Dress code violation. It became a thing to get caught because they were apparently really comfortable. When the admin finally caught on that people were trying to get them on purpose, they changed it so that you got in school suspension. Joke on them for that too. Lots of kids prefer that over being in class. I would like to see what the sweatpants look like. It says DCV in big orange. I bet it looked pretty cool, you know. Well, it wasn't a school-wide policy, but I had a super French teacher who would constantly hand out detentions for things as inconsequential as walking to the trash can to throw away a piece of paper. She absolutely could not deal with the fact that we periodically might need to actually leave our chair for a perfectly valid reason. One day she locked herself out of the classroom and nobody would let her back in. Sorry, we aren't allowed to get out of our seats. She had to get the janitor LOL. Technically, it's not the students' fault, okay? The French teacher did not let the students get out and throw away the trash can, okay? They must be on their seats no matter what, okay? So that teacher must deserve to be locked out, you know. My school banned all balls over a couple of inches in diameter because someone kicked a football through a window during lunch. Most of us that walk home walked past the woods by the golf course and had ready a supply of golf balls as a result. Golf balls were allowed under the new rule due to their size. 3 broken windows and 1 lunch period later, they weren't. Pranksters, man, pranksters, these kids. I am a programmer on a previous job. The developers and teams were measured by the number of feature requests that they completed. We figured out to subdivide everything to blow air into maximum number of feature requested possible. A manager might request a new report. We set out separate feature ticket for create button, make button blue, make button respond when click, implement business logic, display results in grid, allow sorting of grid, and so on. We subdivided one day into a 21-hour task. Management loved it. Our team looked 20 times as productive, despite deliberately slowing ourselves down with red tape. Yeah, this company basically shoot themselves in the foot, okay? Try to look productive, but in reality, they are not that productive. Work wanted everyone to come in 7:16 so my boss can expect me if I can work or not. Doctor no not accepted since they can be fake. Vomit on his desk over important paper. No regrets. Wow, savage. That is wow. Vomited on his paper. I bet the boss was like, ew, that's not a good sight. I went to a private school for elementary where uniforms were strict. If you didn't wear a belt, you go to the principal office and he would make you use a shoestring. Well, when he opened the drawer, there was like 6 different colors and everybody thought it was really neat, so for a short period of time, there was a bunch of kids coming to school with no belt so they could wear their lime green shoestring belt. Yeah, that principal, he just got too creative, so now the kids love to wear different colors of belts. Don't do anything unless directed by your boss. Any deviation from this will result in write-up, termination. This was a very literal directive from upper management that took place after an office incident. Our work is very fluid and our team alone contained 20 people. Needless to say, productivity hit unfolded lows. New manager got rid of the sofa in the break room so people could nap on their hour-long lunch break. No one overslept or took the pill, but it was good to have the option on a tough day. Stoner guy started sleeping in other places, including in between walls and in the warehouse. That's when we started losing him and couldn't find him as he go to a deeper sleep and was less likely to be disturbed. He did lose his job somehow. That place had a hard time hiring. To clarify where Stoner guy would go, we found him in between walls and shelves. It was a DIY store that had been something else year before, so there was random protection walls and oddly laid out shelving unit everywhere. A real crowd show of a store layout. He had quite a few places to hide in and nap. Yeah, I love to take naps, okay? I can pretty much sleep anywhere. I can sleep on the bench or on the floor. Can you sleep on the floor? My senior year of high school, some guy in my class got in school suspension for wearing a headband. He had long curly hair, so the next couple of weeks almost every guy on the football team started wearing headbands in protest. Keep in mind that girls could wear headbands, just not guys. No one really understood this rule. Edit, this took place right in the middle of football season. Why did the guy got in trouble for wearing headbands? I just don't get it. I mean, he got long hair. It's a legit reason to wear headbands. A school in my area just got the cost of a parking pass. People protest by not buying the pass. Instead, they rode the bus. Funny thing is, the county really relies on juniors and seniors driving because they don't have enough bus for all the students. The parking pass fee dropped. People drove again. I drove to high school, so leave a comment down below if you drive yourself to school or do you ride a bus. Our school made it so you can't play dodgeball anymore. So what happened was that the gym teacher came out with this new game called Fireball. The rules are that there are balls in the middle of the gym. People go on 2 separate teams, go for it, and if you get hit, you are out. If you catch a ball, you are okay. So it was basically dodgeball. Then Fireball was banned. So now there's a new game called Paintball, which isn't involving the machines fortunately, but it was basically dodgeball, fireball, but there's bowling pin that you need to knock over as well. I think they just give up after a while. This one is hilarious, okay? You are basically playing dodgeball, but you just call it a different name. I used to work for a production company that employed a lot of really skilled, award-winning editors. There were producers and executives and directors, but the real money maker, the people who really made the company, were all the editors. So the company was basically centered around them. The executive would always order in food for the editors, and the editors would usually eat in their office while doing their day. One day, the executive decided to cut paid lunches to save money. The editor thought this was a dick move, so they go out for lunch and sometimes they stay out for like 3 hours. There was nothing the company could do really because these editors were top of their game, and if Warner Bros. Heard that the editor they always used had left, they might leave too. So the company couldn't do anything. They saved maybe $15 per person per day, but lost at like 4 hours per person per day. So you told me they are on a salary or they are on hourly rate? It sounds like they are on a salary, so you can go maybe take a 5-hour lunch as long as you got your work done. My junior high school adopted a policy to not allow kids to litter in group of 5 or more, and attempt to crack down on gang mentality. This was freaking junior high school. Anyway, me and my group of misfits, 6 of us, were always hanging out during free time, and the principal eventually stopped us and asked to separate. I had to casually explain to him that we are not a group of 6, but 2 groups of 3 that were intermingling. People might win, and that rule was basically dead. That was one of the few times I had to explain to my father why he was called into the principal office with me. That is pretty crazy. Junior high and they already have gangs in there. My high school had a really bad problem with students showing up to class 5 minutes late every day, so they tried 3 different solutions. First, they started letting us use locker. They quickly found out that just meant that nobody brought their books to class. Next, they decided to ban use of restrooms between class periods. Teachers started complaining about everyone asking for a bathroom pass as soon as the class started, so that it was abandoned after a week or so. Lastly, one week they made a ton of announcement Monday through Wednesday that all students were to be on time for class. Then on Thursday, they suspended any student who was late for insubordination. Turned out that included half of the football team. This occurred right before the biggest game of the year. In a town of 4,000 people, this game attracted 16,000. So yeah, they gave that out as well. Man, students are only like 5 minutes late. Why are they making like such a big deal about it? My 4 years of high school were full of my school trying out new policies and procedures to use in the future. My sophomore year, my school decided to make tests count for 100% of the grade and homework count for 0%. And as you expect, kids did absolutely no homework. The ones that didn't retain information well or were bad at test takers struggled pretty hard to make the grade without homework patterning. Our failure rate was pretty high that year. Then my junior year, they brought homework grade back and made a new rule that there were no due date, no penalty for turning in late work for 6 weeks within 2 quarters. As long as it was before the next 6 weeks start, you were good. This led to students doing no homework until the last few days of the 6 weeks, and teachers had to accept and grade them all before grade were due. This put teachers under immense stress by causing them to work insane hours and spend every hour at home grading, which made them very irritable and more likely to just solve pointless activities and busy work at us until they could finish grading. Man, they need to come up with better strategies, okay? Not do homework at the end of 6 weeks, okay? That's not gonna work. Not sure if it was exactly a rule, but my middle school once encouraged kids to not touch each other at all to reduce physical harassment cases, even friendly gesture among friends. All that did was get the kids running around touching each other on campus for about a month and a half, screaming physical harassment. As they did so, to add insult to injury, they did it twice as often in front of the administration who made the presentation about it. So obviously it did not work, okay? People just love touching people. This was actually in the news a couple of months ago. We had a really hot summer last year, and the boys at my little brother's secondary school were mad that they couldn't wear shorts but the girls wore skirts. The junior leadership team brought it up at the meeting, and the head teacher jokingly went, "Alright, if the boys want to wear skirts, let them." A group of boys went to school wearing skirts the next day. Then it wasn't just a group of them. I gotta admit, it'd be hilarious seeing like boys wear skirts. I mean, just think about it. Picture it in your head. I have told this story before, but my high school tried to crack down on people wearing their ties too short as it was faster. It got to the stage where anything except completely pristine uniform would get you a detention, which coming up to exam season was one more thing we didn't want to deal with. In protest at what was widely seen as a ridiculous rule, ties started getting longer and longer, 1 foot, 2 feet, 2.5 feet, as long as people could get them. It culminated in one girl sewing 2 ties together into a 5-foot beast that trailed on the floor as he walked and resulted in the deputy heads having a screaming fit one day about how disrespectful we all were to the uniform code. After that, the teacher quietly gave up on the new hardline approach to the uniform, and everything went back to normal. We got a new manager for our office. She was an outside hire and was trying to prove herself quickly, and she was obsessed with efficiency. So her first week here, she sent out this very rudely worded email about employees eating at our desk. We have a very small break area, 4 tables, and we have about 300 employees here, and that we all had to start eating at our desk because it was not efficient to eat and try to work at the same time. Through a coordinated effort by some of the more sassy people at the office, they all had their lunches at the same time and filled the break room with about 90 people, elbow to elbow, and they all ate standing up. Literally the next day after that happened, she sent out a follow-up email saying that we could eat at our desk, but she advised us to take a break from our work from time to time. It was pretty funny. Dang, that is a genius prank right there. My company, as part of its alcohol policy, said you should not drink for at least 4 hours before coming to work. When engineers got called about production problems over the weekend, they all just had a beer but could be there in about 4 or 5 hours. Oh man, that is hilarious. So yeah guys, this is about the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Calvin1995, link will be in the description below, and make sure to check out other videos in this channel. And yeah, my name is Calvin and I see you guys next video.